A breezy day with temperatures reaching 22 Celsius. Wednesday and Thursday look set to be dry and very warm with some sunshine. Although many places will remain dry during Friday and Saturday, a few thundery showers may develop during the day. It will also feel very warm or hot by the weekend. That's your forecast.
For a more detailed 5-day outlook, call Weather Update, sponsored by First Choice Holidays on 0891 559977.
See what you make of this.
Paul McKenna uncovers the mystic world of the paranormal. From poltergeists and haunted houses to UFOs and evidence of captured life forms existing on the planet. Prepare to be shocked and stunned by revelations of the paranormal world of Paul McKenna, Tuesdays at 8:30.
Here's the programme looking at comedy, especially in the Northwest.
Hello there and welcome to Funny Business, the delicious comedy takeaway with just the right amount of sauce. Do you want fries with that? And on this week's show we bully off with the man who offers nothing for two in a bed, Mr. Jim Bowen. Also darting his way up the comedy ladder is Manchester's new American connection, Ray Marino. And your chance to meet the man normally behind Mrs Merton and Steve Coogan. When you're wandering around the region, you know, between Manchester, Liverpool, bits in between, you think about all the great comics that have come from the area, and then you think, you can't beat a bit of Bowen. I'm here with young Jim Bowen. Hello, young man.
How are you?
How are you doing? I'm all right.
Hello.
We're here at the Science and Industry Museum in
Absolutely.
Manchester. Well, basically, the first thing I want to ask is, like, how did Jim Bowen start in being
by accident, really.
in comedy?
Well, courtesy of indirectly, how it all sort of exploded when it hit the fan was courtesy of Frank Carson.
Really?
A well-known, discreet, silent Irishman.
Quiet man.
Hey, tell him. Carson saw me in Blackpool. I was doing it semi-professionally. I was school teaching at the time.
Yeah.
And worked at a place in Blackpool called the Dolphin Bar. And I did 2 shows a night for 6 nights and died conclusively every night, apart from one, the first show on the Thursday night, and Frank was in, when for some reason I got laughter, which was a sound I'd lost sight of sound of. And Frank saw me, and it was about the time Johnny Hamp was devising The Comedians, not 100 yards from where we're sitting now, at Granada Studios, which is probably, your viewers may remember, 27 years ago.
Sheesh.
Yeah. And
That's 27 years ago. Well,
since the first series.
Well, I'm only 29, so it's...
So you were 2 when the first siren started. The siren started then.
That's the Comedy Police.
I know, yeah, I know. Yeah, somebody's getting laughs somewhere.
When did you realise The Comedians was going to be such a massive success?
Oh, it was incredible. I mean, looking back, I came in on the second wave, as it were, really. But Johnny Hamp had this idea of just recording 10 comics a night, give them each 10 minutes, and just edit down, get one gag out of one. Say Frank did a gag and got a laugh, and Bernard did the odd clean gag in 4 hours. So you pull Bernard's clean gag out and you stick them together, and it looks as though all 10 are on stage at the same time.
Yeah.
And then Hampy used to stick the laughter that Bernard got from all the laughter, he canned it and stuck it on the end of our gags, and it was outrageously successful. I mean, it was phenomenal. In '72, we went out Friday nights at 7:30. And this is absolutely serious. All the boys will tell you if you do any viewers. Yeah. The pubs didn't bother opening until 8 o'clock because people did not come out until they'd finished.
When the Comedians are on now, the repeats of them, do you watch them now?
It's horrific. Well, yeah. Yes, I mean, I at one time was as young as you know, many years ago. I was. I was really. And we had the sideburns and all the bit. And I've
got them, you see it.
Yeah, but mine were mega. I mean, mine were sideburns for Europe.
One fellow said, I think we ought to erect this statue to Ted Heath. We ought to put it next to the statue of Lloyd George in Runcorn, just outside Wanstead. He didn't get geography when he were at school. And another MP said, no, we can't put it there because Lloyd George never told the truth. Yeah, verily, that's true, he said. Unto me come. He said. And another MP stood up. He raised his hand. Yeah. He said, I think we should put the statue next to George Washington. And this fella stood up and said, no, we can't put it next to George Washington because he never told a lie. He said, I'll tell you who we should put it next to. We should put this statue of Ted Heath next to Christopher Columbus. I said, why is that? He said, well, because Christopher Columbus, when he set off, he didn't know where he was going. When he got there, he didn't know where he was. When he came back, he didn't know where he'd been. And he did it all on borrowed money. No, I think that's it.
You might be sick and tired of talking about Bully.
But never would be. And the Midland Bank are not tired of talking about it either.
So how did Bully come about?
Bullseye came about because I was 5th on a short list of 4.
No.
Honestly, they approached 4 other people to do it before me, and I got it by default.
So can you tell who else was
No,
approached?
I wouldn't tell you for £1 million. But there were 4 others, and one guy lost it because when he was offered the job, he went for his diary.
Yeah.
And the guy who was offering the job said, put your diary back. He says, you don't want it enough if you've got to get your diary out. You don't want it enough. And I buy that fella a diary every Christmas. I got £200 a show for a network Monday night television show pulling. We were in the top 5, only because people couldn't believe how bad it was. They watched the first show and they thought, this is awful. They said, we better watch it next week, it's got to get better. And it went worse.
But it was weird, the popularity, but because for me, because it must have changed to Sunday after that, because I remember...
It changed to Sundays after the first series,
yeah,
because they wanted to bury it.
Because Sunday evenings just weren't the same,
Well, we made a star of Harry Seacombe and Thora Hurd.
Yeah.
Yeah, we made a star of them. Sunday night, and we went on. I remember the programme controller, a man called John Scofield, a wonderful man, and he said, right, he said, they're obviously trying to get rid of the show because they're giving us the God spot. You know, more people commit suicide between 5 o'clock and 7 o'clock on Sundays than any other time in the week, because all they've got is Thora Hurd, Harry Seacombe, and that woman Pam Watsit with the lisp, who goes round with brass bands and choirs singing on pier ends. And then they've got church bells outside. I think, God, is that all there is to life? Put the gas on, put your head in. I feel directly responsible for saving several hundred people's lives.
Before that, you were a bender in the steelworks.
Yes.
You've got yourself straightened out now, right?
I've done. So what about contestants on Bully? Where did they get them? Where did they get them
went to
from?
search for them. We went to homes, institutions, street corners. Actually, ironically enough, you know, you're going to have trouble believing this, but they were all extremely good darts players and extremely intelligent people to get through the audition.
Yeah.
They had to play darts against a computer for 15 minutes.
And then see what happens.
But when they went up, the bottle factor came in. You know, who came second in the last war? I'm not sure about that. And I'm giving them clues like it was in all the papers. You know, and the bottle just went.
All right then, thank you very much,
It's a pleasure.
young man. Very nice to meet you. Another established comedy name is Boardman, but young Alex Boardman is no relation. He's one of the new breed of comics coming from the Manchester area. Hello, Alex.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, young man. How are you?
Not bad.
Good. So, how long have you been doing stand-up?
Well, I did the Edinburgh Festival last year. I did my first open spot there. And since then, I've just been, because I've been down here all the time, so I just live around the corner. So I've been doing like 3-4 a week. So about, 8 months.
And have you you do other gigs as well?
Yeah, I've been up to Edinburgh since and headlined up there, that was good. And Liverpool, Leeds, places like that, but I haven't been to London yet.
I was thinking, well, they couldn't really set Monopoly in Manchester, could they? Because you'd have to change too many things when you were playing, you know, like that little top hat, that'd be a baseball cap, wouldn't it? And that dog would probably be a Rottweiler or something, wouldn't it? And you'd have to burn that car out and put it on some bricks, maybe. I don't know.
Why did you become a stand-up?
Well, I wasn't bullied at school or anything, as you get normally asked, but I just like it. I just like writing gags and I like watching comedy, and just the adrenaline and the buzz, it's just brilliant. There's nothing comes close to it in my experience.
So what's next for you then?
Well, I'm supporting somebody in Edinburgh at the Gilded Balloon. That's quite a good, that's for 2 weeks, and I've got through to the final of the Avalon competition.
Yeah, right.
So I'll just try and, I don't know, I just want to do this. Just do as many gigs as possible and get as good as I can.
They won't say Monopoly in Manchester though, because like half the board would be a no-go area, wouldn't it? And the only people stupid enough to buy any property will be the students. Wow. Oh, Julian, you lucky bastard, you've landed in Salford. Do you want to buy it? Right. Yeah, okay, how much? Well, call it 400 a week, you don't make the payments, me and Mac will break both your legs, all right? Sorted. mate.
And now, Les is more in this week's Comedy Legend. I wanted to talk to you about Les Dawson because Comedy Heritage is quite involved in Les Dawson.
That's right.
Remembering Les Dawson,
Yeah.
because you've unveiled a plaque to him.
Yes, we did a plaque for him in late 1995 up at Lytham, where he lived at the time of his death. I think one of the great funny men of television as opposed to radio, because he was almost a television-produced funny man. I mean, he was born out of television, having won Opportunity Knocks. He was actually a television comedian, as opposed to people like Ken Dodd, who of course were in the radio first, and a lot of the others from that part of the world.
Yeah.
He was actually born into television, and it was his platform, and he used it brilliantly to his own success and whatever.
A lot of his stuff did come sort of from musical. It was a musical style, wasn't it?
Well, it was, because he built his career in the clubs up in the north, and of course the north was very much the cradle of great humour, including mother-in-law jokes, and of course he took that as he took other stuff from or adapted stuff from Norman Evans.
So what is it, do you think, about Les Dawson that people think so fondly about still?
I think it's because Les was a very naturally funny person, and it's hard to put into words. Les was funny, Les was Les, but Les could make you laugh by just looking at him. There were very few of the greats, maybe Tony Hancock, Tommy Cooper was another one, where they could just look at you, change a facial expression without saying a word, and maybe do it over a period of maybe 30, 40 seconds, which is a long time when you're actually doing it. It doesn't sound it, but it is. And make you laugh. I always had in my mind, when you think about funny people, if you could put them together with someone else, and I always had this image in my mind of Les Dawson with Liberace. Can you imagine if those two got together at a piano, and one in tune and one getting extremely upset about someone else playing out of tune? I mean, it's a sketch that would never have happened, but it's nice to think about it.
It was the wife's mother. You could tell it was the wife's mother because the rats were throwing themselves on the traps. She stood in the doorway. I said, "Don't stand there getting freezing cold and wet." I said, "Sod off." She stayed for Christmas. I came down Christmas morning and I saw her standing there. She'd given herself a wash at the sink. I thought it was the turkey. Trouble was, I'd given her 3 handfuls of sage and onion before I found out. Well, it was marvellous. Took her on holiday, taken everywhere. It saves them to kiss her goodbye. We sat on the beach. She said, "Have you seen my flip-flops?" I said, "We've all seen them. Put your top back on." Subtle stuff, you know what I mean? God rest you, Les. God bless you.
Bye, bye, bye. No, not bye, bye, bye. Bye, bye, bye. Look at the incredible range of comestibles available in this commercial break. And in part 2, Henry Normal and Ray Marino for you.
The manager continues to enjoy the complete confidence of the City Ball.
When circumstances change, Rover commitment comes into play, because only with Rover dealers, if you return your new Rover within 30 days or 1,000 miles, you can have a full refund. Or alternatively,
one more shot.
you can swap it
Listen, you must be my boy. It's a strike here, mate.
for something more suitable.
Only with Orange can a group of people join together and share one talk plan, more inclusive minutes, and cheaper calls. The future's bright. The future's Orange.
The brand new Ripsaw at Alton Towers. Can you cut it?
Writer and performer Henry Normal first came to prominence in the Channel 4 show Packet of Three, alongside Jenny Eclair and Frank Skinner. Since then, he's written for the likes of Steve Coogan, Caroline Aherne and Nick Hancock. Mr. Henry Normal, hello, young man.
Hiya.
It's a delight to meet you, sir. And I believe what they say is you're the man behind Mrs Merton and behind Steve Coogan.
There's a back entry gag there, isn't there? I'm one of the men and women behind Mrs Merton. Of course, Caroline Aherne is the woman behind Mrs Merton.
She's in front of it as well, isn't she?
And in front of it, she surrounds and embodies, in fact, Mrs Merton. And there's Dave Gorman, another writer, and Craig Cash, of course, plays Malcolm in the gas ads. So there's 4 of us, really.
It's sort of become a big old team, big old comedy Manchester team, this, isn't it?
Well, we sit round and make each other laugh, really. I mean, which is quite nice, and they pay us lots of money, and we just enjoy ourselves.
Sounds like hell.
No, it sounds like, no, it's all right.
This is my Christmas present all over again. Ooh.
He wouldn't resist that. Was that a trick? I think that's what they call it in America, but we're going to stop there. No, Paul's not here. You're everyone's. So, Debbie, you're very pleasing on the eye, if I might say so. I think Chris has realised that. Thank you. But what first, Debbie, attracted you to the millionaire Paul Daniels?
How did you get into doing all this work? Because you're kind of a stand-up as well, you're a performer as well, aren't you?
Well, I was a stand-up poet and comedian, and I still do a bit occasionally. I had a tour with Nigel Planer last year, which was nice. But I do that for fun more than anything now. And I had a series on Channel 4. Which,
that was with Frank Skinner.
Frank Skinner. Whatever happened to him?
I don't know. How did you get involved with Steve then?
Well, I say, if you think about it, Steve's Manchester lad, and Caroline's Manchester, so and we're stood in Manchester. So a little bit of a Manchester connection, you see, and I was living in Manchester at the time, so we used to do gigs together. In fact, we all used to gig around Ashton for no pennies. And
as a theatre company.
No pennies, the theatre company, yeah. And then we we did the same jokes really on television.
So,
nice.
And you also just recently written for that sitcom with Nick Hancock.
Holding the Baby, yeah. Mark Wadlow wrote it really, and Dominic Minghella, I think his name is. I was asked to come in and just put a few more knob gags in. Can I say knob gags?
As many times as you like.
Spell it with a K or something like that. Right? Yeah. And it was good fun. Nick added some to it, and all the other cast members added to it, so it's quite easy really. Just sitting around
quite
again,
easy,
making each other laugh.
Sounds easy,
anybody could do it.
You've been a passenger too long, Paul, and this is where you get off.
If I get off this bus, then that is it. You can say goodbye to all those good times.
Like what?
Don't interrupt. I mean it. If I get off, then everything I've worked for...
You haven't worked.
Shut your trap. I love you, you daft cow. Right, this is it.
Get on with it.
Julie, if I get off this bus, I am history.
See ya!
Well, is it different writing for different people then? Obviously it's different, but is it easier to write for Steve, or is it easier to write for Caroline, or is it easier to write
They both
for
have the ways of doing it. Both Steve and Caroline are brilliant writers anyway, so we don't really do much. In fact, Caroline makes it all up. We're just her mates.
I like the way you play down everything you do.
Well, you know, I'm sure somebody else could do it. You know, it's just we were asked.
So what else are you up to at the moment then?
We're writing a new thing for Caroline called The Royle Family, which is R-O-Y-L-E. And it's, I suppose, really, it's quite good. It's the nearest you're going to get to seeing working class culture on television in dramatic form. It's a slice of life of a working class family in Wythenshawe, and it's all done in real time, and there's no plot whatsoever, which means we can go on for years.
A bit like the Simpsons.
Shrewd thinking there, isn't it? A bit like the Simpsons, except...
But in Wythenshawe.
But in Wythenshawe, yeah. The Wythenshawe Simpsons, that's what we want to be known as.
Let's go back to Mrs Merton.
Oh, yeah.
You know all those sort of cheeky questions that do you write all those sort of cheeky...
Well, we write some
questions?
of them, but you see, that you never know what they're going to say. So you can't really cover every eventuality, and Caroline's ad-libs is fantastic. My favourite one of her ad-libs was when we had Terry Major Ball on, and we knew we had to ask him something about himself, because you can't have somebody on. And so she sort of said, you know, what do you do? That's the line we wrote. And he said, I don't really do anything, and she just came straight back and says, are you twins? Which which is fantastic, isn't it? You know, that's the sort of line that I wish we'd have written. But she's great at ad-libs, so she does actually do a lot of the work herself.
I condemned Mr. Cantona, who is a magnificent player, for something which I thought wasn't right. The kind of tackle on a fellow professional.
I was very sad about that, you know, because, like, you know, when he accidentally kung fu'd that Cockney boy, you know. I mean, has it ruined his chances for playing for England? Do you hear? Has it?
Oui. What stuff are you doing with Coogan then, Steve Coogan?
Well,
talented Steve Coogan.
Yeah, Steve's writing Alan Partridge at the moment with Armando Iannucci, and I think Peter Bainham's writing some as well. And then at Christmas, we're hoping to do another Paul Calf, which will be the 4th Paul Calf, and it'll be a return to the format of the roving camera.
Oh, the video diary type thing, yeah.
And it'll be called A Calf is Born. It's a world exclusive on your programme.
Really?
Yeah,
oh, well,
I've not told anybody else.
We'll get that out on
Save that for you.
Thanks very much, it's lovely.
And so that'll, you know, hopefully we'll have all the same people in, Fat Bob and Mum and Grandma and everybody, so that'll be nice.
All the old team.
Yeah.
All the old Manchester team. Do you consider it like a proper job still? Yeah, then.
Proper job? No, we're getting away with it.
Yeah?
Getting away with something rotten. You know, they shouldn't pay for this rubbish, really, should they? You know what I mean? You know, there's people doing jobs all over the country. You know what I mean?
You're going to alienate your audience.
Well, I don't. You know, I'm honest. I'll tell them. You know, I mean, I'll stack shelves and fine fair and stuff like that. That's a proper job.
Yeah.
Not thinking up comedy stuff. I think everybody should think up comedy stuff in the country.
Ray Marino is the last in our line of promising stand-ups from the Northwest. And what a bizarre Manchester accent he's got. Hello, Ray.
Hello, Ian.
Very nice to meet you,
How
sir.
are you? Nice to meet you.
I noticed your Manchester accent's not that good.
No, not spot on exactly. I still say buddy now and again. I think it's pretty obvious that I'm a full-fledged Yank, yeah.
So what are you doing here in Manchester then? Or the Northwest, rather?
Trying to be a funny fellow, really. I've been here for about 4 years now.
So how did you end up here?
Fugitive, on the run.
From who?
No, I met an air hostess in Florida, British air hostess, and he's treated me great ever since.
Hey.
You know, really, it's a long, ugly story ever since about '94 of July, and actually the lady I met was supposed to come to live with me in America, and she said, why not try England, see Europe, and I've been on the mushy peas ever since. 4 years I've been here now, 4 years. I'm just starting to get a clue. I didn't just step off the Mickey Mouse boat yesterday coming over and asking for 2 screwdrivers and a Waldorf salad. I know what's going on. I know where to find everything in Tesco. Mushy peas that way, HP brown sauce over there, no problem. Right down the frozen food aisle, I can pick up 2 faggots and a creamy white sauce without blinking an eye.
Before you came, were you a stand-up, or did you just become one since you got here?
Well, in my own mind, maybe. I tried a few open mic spots when I was a younger guy, about 19 or so, but just really didn't have enough life experience to be funny, really, so got out of it, and it's a lot of material to go on over here, so I'm giving it a go now.
So how long have you been going on here?
About 8 months now, I think, before my first open mic set, which I did here at the Frog, and went down okay, so I've been sticking with it ever since.
So is it more difficult, do you think, being a Yank here, or is it easier?
I think it can be, but I think I got an edge. Being an American comic living in England, there's not that many of them around, from what I've seen, to actually take the life experience from the 2 cultures and use that for, you know, observations in comedy. What do you want from me? This ain't Mr. Bean in a takeaway Chinese. I'm a Yank. I'm allowed to be out of order. Tomato, tomato, potato, potato, kiss my ass. What do you think of that?
What kind of stuff do you do?
Well, I'm an impressionist. It's one of my better qualities, I would think. Do a lot of American kind of, you know, Robert De Niro kind of faces, Al Pacino, Joe Pesci, those kind of guys, which is something I think the British public, especially the lads, like to
you do any British people?
Bond with. British people, just my girlfriend.
Who we're all familiar with.
Yeah. Can you cut that bit, please?
Do you generally sort of play the Northwest, or have you?
That's all I've done to this point.
Oh, really?
Bar a few open mic spots in London.
And how do you think those went?
In London,
Yeah.
pretty good. don't get the same warm reception as you do in the north. They seem to be very, very straightforward up here. A bunch of friendly guys. I don't know whether it's the tenant's extra that does it, or just the way they were brought up. But I seem to get a friendly reception here, so I'm trying to stay loyal to them.
This last bit I do has nothing to do with my act. It's just a really stupid, cheesy way of me putting more impressions into it. So I call this Celebrity Answer Machines. Let's play a little game. I'll do the hair thing, and you guess who this is.
Yes, hello. Lieutenant Colombo, Homicide, LAPD. I'm afraid, sir, or ma'am, I can't come to the phone right now. I'm either out investigating a homicide or getting a cup of coffee. So if you'd like to leave a message, sir, or ma'am, I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Just one more thing, sir. Come on.
And so, it only remains for me to thank you for your time, smile rather smugly, turn elegantly, and wander off into the distance with a certain swagger in me step.
That was the last in the present series. 10:14 next Monday, a profile of fashion designer Vivienne Westwood.
An abandoned yacht found drifting with 2 tons of cannabis worth £6 million.
She's full of dope! Tons of it!
A hunt to find the smugglers.
I reckon we've got 48 hours maximum before they're away.
Customs officers in pursuit of a ferry which must be stopped before leaving territorial waters.
On 2 fronts, it was a race against time. One, to apprehend them, and secondly, to try and apprehend them before they got outside the jurisdiction of the United Kingdom.
Undercover Customs, Thursday at 8:30 on Granada.
Sophie, feeling depressed, receives comfort from an unexpected source. Emmerdale coming up.